So this is going to be the pettiest bitch I have ever held on to. And I'm sorry, but I have to. So, as you know, your dear mother has become a connoisseur of the girl-on-girl genre. Yuri, as it is called. And I've been reading things like manga, manhwa, and the other manhwa. One of them is spelled differently because it's the difference between Korean and Chinese, also Thai and a bunch of other ones. Now, this may not be your field of interest, but I have taken a dive into a different type of manhwa recently. Het manhwa. Now, I need to talk about this because it's fucking weird. Here's my problem. From what I understand from my dear friend Goen, who's on the screen right now, Goen, who really should have that VIP as their dear friend. I'll put that on there later. They are, you know, they say that they say that the yaoi, you know, the boys on boys, it's good stuff. Boy love, good stuff. It's fine. It's fine. I can confirm the Yuri's really good. What the Fox say? Fuck. Just the right one, or just right there. Pulse, fucking Love Lily. All of these are based. Program Me, also is pretty damn good. White Angels, Get No Rest, which we'll talk about at some point. But then you get into this het thing, and the heteros fucked it up again. And I gotta express this. So I don't know if this is true in yaoi, because I haven't looked. Not my thing. But the way that webtoons-esque Korean and Chinese manhwa tend to censor things is by using white light. So if you've read manga and you've ever seen hentai or anything like that, there's usually like black bars covering things, but like the weird thing is like the black bars don't really do anything. Like you still can see everything. You're just like, oh, her clit's behind the black bar. You should read more based and lesbian pilled good stuff. So here's my problem. So they use this white light to cover stuff, and they usually only do it with women in one specific place, usually their crotch. So specifically the labia, majora, minora, and clitoris and all that stuff. Oh, Kira gave Goen a tier 1 subscription based. Those things are all hidden by just some white light, but you can still see people like sticking their fingers in, doing their business, right? As you would. High spectrum, you know, people are doing their thing, and it's sexy, it's good, it's wonderful. But here's where it gets weird. They use that same light with a dude's junk. And unlike manga, where they hide it with a black bar, and you're like, no, that's still a penis. They cover it in all white light. You're probably seeing where I'm going with this. Here's the sitch. Basically, the white light thing is fine. It's good. It's whatever. But here's my issue with the white light. The simple thing is that the white light ends up making the dude's junk look like a lightsaber. And to the people saying they see this in manga and hentai, I'll be honest, I'm going to guess those are actually probably manhwa and they're just being packaged under hentai. Be honest. But let me be clear. They look like a white lightsaber. Now, this by itself would be hilarious. Yeah, that's what I think, Goen. It's only in fucking manhwa. I know what these people are talking about. So like, here's the issue. Every het manhwa is basically about a dude building a harem of various girls whose tits are really big and essentially using his lightsaber to hit the orgasm button. Because the plot is always the same. Take loser guy, stick in either just natural skill or like superhuman powers, or like gets blessed by the gods, or like whatever. But basically there's always some reason why he suddenly is just a sex wizard. Here's the problem, is that I've literally described het manhwa as essentially the power of failing upwards. Even more so than like the powers of, say, your typical, oh, thank you so much for subscribing. Not sure why that one didn't pop up right. But literally, this person through the power of the gods or just magic skill or because he was banging his aunt, is somehow capable of being a sex wizard. And the plot just falls around this. And it's literally just failing upward. It is just by being the basic, most useless man humanly possible. He is got all of the girls falling on him. It is essentially like him being a sex wizard. And that's the story. Now, this can be done better and worse. Things like Brawl and Go, for example, do it relatively okay. It's fun. It's not particularly bothersome. None of it has any weird feels. Then there's one that I read, which was like called Secret Lesson or Secret School, where basically all of the girls in this kid's house, who apparently his parents died, he went to go stay with this other family who's not biologically related to him. And essentially the premise being is that he ends up sleeping with every single girl in the house. The girls he calls his sisters and his aunt and one of his best friends, who I'm pretty sure has some sort of mental disability, his sister as well. All these women are hot, though they basically have interchangeable bodies with different heads. It's weird. But the thing that's really, really strange is that, like, where I find myself faltering with this is that even more so than most hentai, I just hate it. And not even because of pseudo-incest sex house. Like, I'll be honest, I come from a family of multi-generational, like, CSA, like, the topic of that doesn't really trigger me for whatever reason. I get the appeal to of like the stepsister thing. Like, I understand why that is a kink for some people. It's not my particular thing, but I get it. So, and that's not even what bothers me about that one outro. What bothers me about that one is the fact that there's all of this really dubious consent at times. Like, just girls asleep, bends her over and starts doing it. And then that's, I guess, consent after the fact when she wakes up. It's not great. So many cousins. Yeah, like it's that level. And I realize hentai can get this way too, but god damn it. Now, here's the thing that sucks about that one, the secret lesson, hidden lesson, whatever it's called. The aunt I'm fucking rooting for, because she goes through a whole sexual awakening and like decides to like not give a shit about her husband, and she just turns into a kinkster, and like, I love her. She's great. I stan her. I will defend her in that comic unless something happens in the next 20 chapters that I'm not aware of. But everything else, I don't know. The consent gets dubious at best. At best. I'm not a fan. I don't like it. It's gross. Meow. Yeah, Shinne Kudasai. And so I'm looking at this and I'm just horrified because it's men failing upwards with no restraints. And this kid in, say, the secret lesson or whatever it's called, or hidden school or whatever it's called. Yeah, it's Mr. Girl levels against her. I mean, it's right kind of up there, yeah. But here's the thing that really gets me is this kid is being framed as the hero. Because his uncle, by the time you get to like 100 chapters in, because he still got to bang everybody and his one sister takes a minute. Yeah, cops. The issue is that like, his uncle is being framed as this guy that's manipulating this kid because apparently he's the son of some really wealthy businessman, and so the guy's trying to use him. Unbeknownst that this kid, this like 20-year-old kid that he took into his house, has banged every girl. He's banged his wife. He's banged his daughter. He's banged his other daughter. Why, thank you, Danny. He's banged his daughter's friend. He's banged his friend's daughter. So I have this feeling that that's not going to happen. Like, I have a feeling the good guy, and again, I'm big quotation marks, is going to be the one that prevails. But again, this is what this is. Het Manhwa always goes this way, and it's really fucking weird. I hate it. Like, consent and all this stuff is so big in Yuri Manhwa. It's so fucking hot, and everyone's like, you know, having conversations and doing communication and all this stuff. Like, it feels like it was written by real, like, lesbians. But then you get into this shit with, like, and I've heard, by the way, none of this negative shit for the yaoi. It's only the head stuff. It's one of the reasons why, like, I've actually become, like, a secret fan of the Omegaverse Yuri. Unbeknownst to you guys, and I'm going to do a segment on just this at some point, but there's a secret tag that exists, which is the Omegaverse in Yuri form. And it's hot. So imagine all of the problems with Omegaverse, except between two women. Consent is basically still like the weird Omegaverse dubious, but much better handled. And the alphas, that is the girl alphas, can sprout penises. They can go full both parts Fuda to do their job. And so in this universe, and this is something me and Asher were squeeing about, is you can have an alpha woman and an omega woman, and you can just make a kid. In fact, at the end of them, one called Best, I think it's Best Friends or, Friends or whatever, I forget what it was. But essentially, they have a kid at the end, and it's adorable because there's no guys involved. It's just two chicks, and I love it. I love it. The claiming bite's weird. There's a thing they have in Omegaverse, and it's like you basically bite their neck, and it sends some weird signal to their brain that now you're the only one that can fuck them during a, what's it called? Heat? Yeah. Guys, I'm serious. Like, Omegaverse, here's the thing. It sounds really dumb, and it absolutely is, yet somehow with women, it's really hot too, and also sprouting a penis. Yeah, they can have kids too. It's literally a thing. Do I have any images from that? I don't know. I don't think I do, but I'm going to check. Not the penis part. I can't show that, but nope. There's a lot of kink in here. Because of course there is. Side note, while you're waiting, you should join the Patreon. Or donate. Both of those things would be good. You come here for this hard-hitting content where we talk about real things, like Yuri. Because the world is scary and we'd rather disappear into stuff. Can't believe you fallen as low as me. Kiss my ass, Spectrum. Spectrum's out here fucking judging. I love you too, but like, you don't even understand the goodness that is, Omegaverse. Like, Omegaverse Yuri is all about cute girls doing cute things. I don't have any image from them. I didn't save any. Or the art style not being my favorite. The head stuff gets weird though, because it's got this vibe. And the vibe is always bad. Do you guys understand that the vibe is always bad? Like, it's always got this feeling of like, women are basically just dolls for guys to have sex with and do not really get a plot or a story unless they do. Like, the only person in, like, Hidden Lesson or whatever the fuck it's called, is like the aunt. And honestly, I stan her so hard because she's actually like getting out of a toxic marriage and learning to actually take care of herself. Like, somehow through the power of this kid's penis, she has learned self-care and that she's allowed to go for what she wants rather than thinking about everybody else. And what she wants is to be fucked by this 20-year-old. That's the game plan. That's the goal. And you know what? As much as I don't think it's necessarily ethical, I do stan her. So you get yours, girl. Fall on that dick. Yeah, I can't read it in a lot of vibes because, yeah, as Failure said, it's got some rippy vibes. Like, it's just not good. And I'm comparing this to Omegaverse Yuri. Omegaverse is literally non-consent consent in a nutshell. The characters literally produce pheromones that cause them to immediately go into heat and just want to bang. They don't get a say in it. So if you're an Omega and you're not taking your suppressor pills, which every universe seems to have, if you're not taking your suppressor pills, you can just, it's 80% dubious consent. You basically are like suddenly around this person and you just want to bang them and you get no say in that. It's really fucking weird. Except your body's doing it. That's the thing that's weird. I just look at all the betas, all the people that don't produce these pheromones, and they're just looking at this and going like, what the fuck is happening right now? So weird. I just don't understand it. Yeah, it's like self-drugging. It's like you took ecstasy to make the sex better. Now, granted, if you were like, I'm not going to take my heat pill because I want to fuck my partner, based and sex pilled, like whatever, don't do ecstasy in regards to TOS, but it is opposite day. So, but it is that basically, I guess you could make it very consensual, and that's what the ones that I'm thinking of do. But yeah, it's rough. So like you're talking about the dubious consent in Omegaverse versus the consent that doesn't exist within a het. The largest population of humans on the planet, heterosexuals, And that shit is filled with, I have sung praises about how Yuri is so fucking based and has all of this really great stuff. Fucking Just Right There has an entire subplot about one of the girls wanting to go, like, be out as a lesbian, which is a really dangerous thing to do in that part of the world. And the other one being so afraid of it that, like, literally she's walking by with her friends from work and doesn't pay attention to her own girlfriend because she's terrified of being thought of as a lesbian. It resolves in the end. It's all good. But it's that kind of shit that happens in real life that, like, matters. And it's so good. But then you get to the head stuff and it's just like they don't know what to do. So there's just a lot of dick. Lightsabers. So the sound was off of my computer and I instantly knew you were talking about Omegaverse because of the penis sprouting. It's really good stuff. I mean, Mpreg is a thing. Magic Lady penises. I mean, I do like Magic Lady penises. Have one myself. Though hoping after November we'll start scheduling to get that thing changed out because reasons. But yeah, do you guys understand what I'm saying? Like, I want to bitch about this because hetero people do better. The heteros are making me upsetteros because this is really gross. This idea that like these guys during sex, they don't even know what they're doing. Like when you watch like Yuri or like read Yuri, like I can tell you that basically in like Love Lily or like Pulse, and I know some of you have read Pulse, so if you've read Pulse, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. They're like directly diving for the clit. They're doing everything they're supposed to be doing. It's wonderful. It's great. It's like, okay, that's how that's actually supposed to work. The head stuff, I swear to God, there's a button inside these women's like vaginas that literally just the lightsaber hits and it just does it.
That was easy.
There's no, like, it's just really weird to me. There's no trying. There's no any, like, it just gives me the thing is like, if the penis is in, then it's going to happen. And it's just, that anyone who's ever had a penis or had a penis inside them knows that's just not how that shit works. In the Yuri ones, yes. They're not rare. They're basically something that most Omegas take for the exact reasons you're thinking. They never talk about how hormones work or how trans people would work. That is one thing I've noticed in a lot of manhwas, that because trans people are very marginalized in China and that, yeah, the suppressants are basically compared to birth control because it's that way you don't just lose your shit and fall on some dick. And again, Yuri Omegaverse seems to get around the consent thing a little bit better than like obviously the gay stuff because I've watched that Lindsay Ellis video, and the head stuff apparently as well because that also seems to have dubious consent or just non-consent. I am your alpha. Sorry, I was about to go into that quote and I was like, I don't know if that's okay. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about lightsaber penises because I find it really, really disturbing. I don't like the fact that they are just the orgasm button. I don't like the fact that there's dubious or non-consent here. And I gotta be really clear. If you're going into, can you send me some? Bitch, send me some. Spectrum, hit a girl up. Send me some. Send me the cutest and most base stuff you've got. I'll review that. I'll fight. I don't give a shit. Yeah, it's about the ABO stuff. Yeah. Oh, it's awful like fanfic of shonen anime, but sure. I mean, I'll check it out. I read both Yuri and Yaoi. There's a lot of issues of consent in Yaoi. Ouch. Ouch. Why? So yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk for a minute about this lightsaber penis thing because it really bugs me. Like, you guys can't give me. So if you want plus size women, go to My Dragon Girlfriend. My Dragon Girlfriend has butch girls with small tits. They've got Christy, who is an overweight girl, and she's fucking hot. I've got a way too much not safe for work stuff from the fucking Patreon. All of the girls in My Dragon Girlfriend are hot as can be, and they're all various sizes of women. It's actually quite nice. If you want good representation, join the Patreon for $10. You get to see all that art. I downloaded all of it, but I'm not giving it out. I think I maybe shared it with a couple people, and that was it. And it was mostly to show off the beautiful and the wonderful Olive in her full glory. And then those people were instructed to not share that under penalty of death. MDG is fun. Join the Patreon if you can afford it. Join ours first, but join that one too. Yeah, consent in Yaoi is not great. It's currently still the fire colors. I don't think they're going to change it. Mine is going to red soon to match my glasses. I'll probably do red with some of the metallic do host color, which is the red, the rose gold. Yeah, please doodles. Please give us doodles. Make sure that if you put them in the art channel, that you tag us, and I can give you the art person, the artist tag, so that you can tag that, and we can tag artists and be like, hey, what's up? I don't know why Outro just did the Awaken Jess siren. Is it because I woke up to art? I don't know. But yeah, this is the reality, guys. Like, at the end of the day, like, we gotta talk about the weirdness of this stuff, because I don't know. I'm not gonna shame anyone's kinks, but there are things that I just don't like. Like, can I be honest? Another thing I'm really not a big fan of is like when you have oversized body proportions. They literally make me feel like uncomfortable. Like, you're looking at, like, say, stuff with like Fuda, or like stuff with like whatever, and it's like these parts are just massive, like just elephant sized, shit like that, and it's like it just doesn't do a thing for me. Every time I see it, I want to kind of die inside. I don't have a problem with like putting like, I don't have a problem with Fudas in a nutshell, but like I don't know, I find myself really hyper's never been my thing. I can't deal with it. It immediately takes me out of it. I need regular body proportions or manga body proportions, which are not. Yeah, it's weird. Here's my thing. Here's the overall thesis of this whole video, is that I just want people to be aware of the fact that, like, if you're gonna wade into this stuff for your own sexuality, you're gonna run into problems. The only one I haven't really run into a shit ton of problems in is Yuri. So if you're a lesbian or sapphic, go you. Like, you're fine if you prove it. Sorry. If you're wading into the het stuff, or you're wading into the yaoi stuff, yeah, apparently there's some pretty strong problems there. And yeah, that's terrifying. I definitely had to kind of like avoid a lot of that stuff and digging around. I'm actually running out of Yuri in my app on my tablet, which is the saddest thing. But I highly recommend a lot of the Yuri stuff. It's really good. It's really based. I'll have to come up with like a top 10 list and just basically like tell you all to read it. Although the fact that some of you haven't read Pulse yet is sad and pathetic. You weak, pathetic fools. I will swallow your souls. Read Pulse. It's by Ratana Sadis. I cannot stress this enough. I don't know if there's anyone here who's read Pulse. Christy, I think, was reading it, but then maybe stopped. Opal should read it. Opal's based. Opal makes a crap ton of fan art. I love Opal. They're all snuggly and shit. Failura's going through it now. Good. Good Failura. Based in Pulse Pilled. See, all these motherfuckers are out here talking about Swallow My Soul. Okay. Wait, did Pulse swallow your soul, or are you asking me to do it? No, I love you too. Like, but yeah, like, just fucking read the stuff I tell you to read. It's literally for free online. How does one swallow a soul? Fellatio. Next question. I mean, it's a straw. You just right out the front. But yeah, I wanted to warn people about this, because the lightsaber thing, I wouldn't even have a problem if this was involving trans girls and like that they still use the lightsaber, as long as we don't continue this trope that like somehow the way it has started. I mean, you're welcome to, I guess, like, worry about that. I can tell you that your worries are unfounded. It's fucking cute. The stuff at the highest on my list is always... Yeah, we know you're lazy. It's fine. The thing about the stuff that I will always rate the highest, guys, is always going to be based on, does it make me happy? Or did it make me really, really sad? Like, if there's something in there that made me really, really, like, emotional, then it's probably going to get a high rating. If it has a really sweet, happy ending, it's probably going to get a high rating. I don't like wah-wah endings. I don't like endings where it feels very unearned. And I think that's my other problem with like a lot of the het stuff is it feels like these things go into the hundreds of chapters for no reason, because it's basically just new situation, new position, or potentially new girl. That's the issue with the het stuff. I have no idea what the tropes are in yaoi, but that is the tropes issue with the het stuff, because it literally just feels like we're just doing the same thing over and over again. With the only trope I dislike in Manhwa Yuri is the can't fix that thing. Is the fake out of we broke up for a while and then we came back together. That one happens a couple times and I'm not a fan of it. Not to take the word of the internet too seriously, but I did come across a thread in the Tell Me game subreddit about dubious consent in the VNs that pop up a bit. Some of the ways they talk, and apparently the refuse thing during sex, just like saying no and stop, is something that happens. Huh, yeah. Well, and I also know that I had a friend of mine who was actually teaching English in Japan for a while, and he was dating a Japanese girl, and I remember that one of the big issues is that like when they would be intimate, she would yell things like it hurts or it's too big, because that's like a thing, at least culturally was at the time. This was like 10, 15 years ago. But like the weird thing about it is that like he of course hopped off and was like, nah, I'm not doing this. And what he said essentially happened is he was like, why did you say that? And she was like, oh, that's what you're supposed to say. And he was really weirded the fuck out. So like I don't know. There's some weird tropes there that I don't get. Some weird cultural phenomenon. But anywho, I'm gonna leave this here. I'm gonna go check on the Zena. So by the way, for those unknowing, Zena's in the other room, not feeling particularly great emotionally. So I'm gonna go check on them. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about this and just nurse this bitch for as long as I could. Men in Manhwa have lightsaber penises, and those apparently are the orgasm button, and they fail upwards. So yeah, we're gonna leave this segment here, and we'll see you in the next one. If you like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Also, consider donating to us. You can support us on our website, transgirltherapist.org. You can also help us on our Patreon, link below, or you can become a member here on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching.